that peak. No, okay. So, if I were to take a cube, we all know what a cube is, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
6 squares all connected together.
What?
6 squares all connected together.
I thought it was made of ice.
It could be made of ice, but this one is a wireframe. It's just wire.
Oh,
Nothing-
wire.
Like this.
It's just like that.
Okay.
But that's just a 2-dimensional projection.
Actually, that's not wire.
What is that?
I need
That
to.
one?
That's solid. I can't see the backside.
Oh, I see.
This is wireframe.
Okay, I got that.
Okay.
I got that much.
Have you got it?
There we go.
Now we're trying.
Now we got the wireframe.
There you go.
I got it
Now
in
you
my
got
mind
it.
already.
Yeah, there's a wireframe. All right.
From that dimension, yeah. I
Yes,
understand.
it's a cube.
Yeah.
A wireframe cube. Now, if I take it and hold it up to the light and project a shadow, project a shadow on a 2-dimensional surface. Okay. So now we can see that we've taken this 3-dimensional object and projected it into the next dimension down.
You're talking about shadows.
Shadow is exactly what we're talking about. It's a shadow. It's a 2-dimensional shadow of a 3-dimensional object.
Very familiar with the
Okay.
concept.
Me, because I have a book called Shadows.
Okay.
Tomscape
You're-
gives you 3-dimensional shadows.
You're with me.
Multi-dimensional.
Okay. You can take an object that's in the 4th dimension. Okay. We can't see it in the 4th dimension because we can't see the 4th dimension. We're locked into 3.
But it's shadows. Well,
Look. And I know you're jumping ahead.
Yeah, let him
but you-
finish the nanoplate. Yeah, we'll
So-
listen.
So you can have a 4-dimensional object that's mathematically defined in the 4th dimension, but you can't see it in the 4th dimension.
So we have
However,
Plato's cave.
However, you can take that 4-dimensional object and project it into the next dimension down,
Right.
into the 3rd dimension. So you have a 3-dimensional shadow of a 4-dimensional object.
So we have Plato's cave, right?
Plato's Cave, it's been a while since I've read that. But
Any
I don't
number
think
of
I don't think it was.
Any
What
number.
we have is there's a book called Flatland that was written by
There you go.
Abbott.
Flatland.
Flatland. No, dude, it's not.
Okay, I'm with you.
So,
I gotcha.
so you can take a 4-dimensional object,
Put in 3.
project it into the 3rd dimension, and see it.
And what does it look like? Shadow?
There's one right there. There's a 4-dimensional cube. It's actually
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
16
Yeah, no,
cubes.
no. You
That's
showed
a
me that.
tesseract.
Yeah,
This actually is down in 2 dimensions, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's now in the 2 dimensions,
but
but
you can build a 3-dimensional model of it.
sure.
Yeah.
So, that's it. I'm done.
Okay.
So,
Okay, that's the aesthetics of thinking, I would say.
Well, okay, so we'll talk about it.
Okay,
So
you want us to map
follow-
it?
We want to map what I just did, okay?
okay.
So,
Um,
so
I'm doing
on this axis was it
We're gonna
dealing
put a
with
mark
the
on each
aesthetics of
axis,
direct
right?
experience, or was it closer to the aesthetics of thinking? Where along this axis do you want to put it? Each person needs to.
okay.
so we're marking each spot, right?
You just mark a spot on the axis.
Got it.
Well, actually mark it in space, not necessarily in the axis.
Well, you can do it, mark it in space if you're so inclined. It's easier for people that don't know how to see it in space.
Yeah, but I think that, you know, two to
I'm
three, I
gonna
think it's.
mark it both
I
ways.
think the audience is going to be, it's going to be easier for them to think in terms of mapping something on the axis, and then we'll have our program calculate where it exists in space.
Okay, that's mine.
Yeah, you're thinking spatially.
And I'm thinking this is aesthetics of thinking and expression requiring mental prowess. And it fits on that far corner.
Yeah.
That's my interpretation of it. However, I didn't draw very well, but nonetheless. I mean,
So Arthur, have you decided where on the axis
Absolutely.
it belongs?
I'm
Okay.
doing it for you.
Okay.
Well, here's mine. I think it's very much at the end of these two.
Okay, so you've
but
already
not-
gone to the
not
next
quite-
next axis, okay?
Not quite at the end of that.
So was that an expression requiring physical prowess or an expression requiring mental prowess?
Mental.
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 Okay, so then you would want to put the dot.
And I get
Or
the
on the
exact
axis.
opposite for utilitarian function.
Oh, really?
Because I went down to the bottom, because
Wow.
I didn't see any purpose for it whatsoever.
Okay.
So it's purposeless.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
So-
To me, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
No,
No.
I've actually felt that that was really irrelevant to it.
It was purposeless then,
Right.
as far as what.
No,
you-
I thought that particular dimension was not really very relevant.
Oh, the
Right.
utilitarian function and purposeless.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I think it is.
I think it's far more on thinking and mental prowess.
yes,
Well,
I
it definitely is
agree
on
with you
those
that
two.
those two were more easy
And I think,
to
it's on
decipher.
the corner of those two actually, but I don't know, but on purposeless, I'm not quite sure how to draw that.
I felt that it was all the way at the end, the other end of that one. That was utilitarian.
Personally, I think it's pretty much purposeless.
I felt it was
I
the
mean,
opposite.
Yeah,
To
I
me,
get-
Utilitarian function.
I think
What
so,
can you
but-
do with it?
I can create new lattices.
That's not utility.
Why not?
It is utility.
it is.
That matters a lot in my life.
That's not utility though.
Well, the
That's-
utility of it was in terms of if you look at it like a parable. Okay?
Parables are not utility. Utility is something that you do something with it.
Parables are utilitarian
Well,
in
exactly,
the
that's
sense,
what I'm
no,
saying. To
in
me,
the sense is
that's
that they're,
something I
they're
could use.
psychological utility. Is what parables are for is to make you see things in different, like there's a
There
parables
is no
that,
such
I
thing
mean,
as
dude, I'm the
psychological
guy who
utility.
created
Dude.
Tonscape, so to me, that's utilitarian. That's how it works.
No, I think it's an utilitarian function, because I think you're explaining
there you go. Exactly,
it,
right.
so that we can then understand something about the fourth
Right.
dimension, which is important if we're talking about mapping in multidimensional space.
Which is
But
what
I
I
think
do.
what he's also
so I think so.
emphasizing is,
But I don't know exactly how much it is, so whether it's
he's
at this
emphasizing
corner
the
here
function
or
of
this
metaphor.
down
And
here,
whose
I don't know.
purpose are we talking about?
Yeah.
Are we
His
talking about
purpose.
Joe's, huh?
All of our collective
Yeah.
That's why it's a collective judgment, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's gonna skew it the other way, but the rest
Right.
of you are all gonna bring it back.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, so it's on the back, the back axis there. I'm not quite sure,
I would be the one outlayer on that axis, because to me, that's an extremely useful thing.
I can go either way, I
This-
might put it in the center.
I may need to redefine this thing utility, because I'm looking at the definition of utility on Wikipedia, and it's not what I'm wanting on
Oh,
this
okay.
on this system.
So what do you want?
What do you want? Yeah.
I want when we're talking about utility, I'm talking about something that you can do something with that
How can you
will
do that
help
in a-
you gain money or
How can you do that in a nanoplane?
what? You can get up there and start working on a car. You
No,
get
in a
wrench.
nanoplane, how can you?
You can build a car.
Use
Yeah,
the
start building a
nanoplane,
car on stage.
but then you have to, what do you call it, have already a customer.
That's enough, thanks.
Okay.
The customer for what
Maybe a
you're
little
building on
Yeah.
stage.
Drawing.
Yeah,
No,
well,
you
you
do it-
build
you do it
something
like
that everybody
You
needs.
can do it on spec.
I got some, the bottom of another red bottle.
Okay.
Well, here's what I
You can
think,
do something on
Okay.
spec, but I think
if
that,
I may add.
Utilitarian function. Here's let me read what they say utilitarian
Oh, you
means.
see, man.
Utility
Summarized
is
this
a
out.
measure, utility.
Thank you.
Utility, I wonder what the difference between utility and utilitarian is. We'll
Well,
get
just
to
look
that.
on, you have to-
Utility is a measure of satisfaction referring to the total satisfaction received by a consumer from consuming a good or service.
You need John Locke and John
no, that's
Stuart Mill for that.
satisfaction. I think.
Yeah.
So-
Anyway,
I
It's
think
a measure
I think
of, utility is
utility-
a measure of satisfaction is what they're saying.
No, I don't, well, that may be.
I disagree with that
I
definition.
disagree. I think of it in terms of, is this something that you can build on, do something else with? Does it give me information I want to know? Is it information that I can, whereas purposeless, is it something,
You can't build anything with that.
yeah, it's just there, and I may want to ignore it.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I put it at the opposite end of that axis from the rest of you, because to
But-
me, that's a tool that I want to use.
But
all
now
the time.
look at, you have to look at the the expression that I was doing. Not what you can do with it. What I was expressing was expressing something with the purpose, the intent for you to use it.
I think you were trying to communicate something useful to me,
So that,
That's kind of how I
despite the
thought.
fact I already knew it, but I mean, nonetheless.
Yeah, and I knew you
and
did.
that's,
He did too.
yeah, but I think that's the problem with, I agree with him
Yeah.
that there's a problem with his purposelessness.
With that axis.
Yeah, and especially with purpose, because as I said last week, purposelessness is more an Eastern concept of, sort of in meditation going within and no mind, and that's,
Well, that's
But
taken to
any-
an extreme.
but the idea is if you're trying to explain something, if you're trying to create something, then it all has purpose.
Where this comes from, why I chose utilitarian function, is because art, generally, fine art, has no utilitarian function. It's not something you know.
I completely disagree.
But in basically artists, fine art, we're talking about fine art, and we're not talking about crafts. We're not talking about.
We're not even talking about the latest Dance Rave remix. We're talking about like Beethoven's Ninth or something, or
Yeah,
maybe not Beethoven's Ninth.
Yeah,
but
Beethoven's Ninth. You could talk about
let's say Schubert's Eighth.
Renoir paintings. What utilitarian function do those have?
To decorate a room. And I'm being very crass
To
about
give
this.
someone some pleasure,
Right,
to give the artist pleasure of creation,
right,
to make a living.
It was utilitarian for him, yeah.
yeah.
I don't think that fine art is useless.
Generally, artists.
You're
Well,
coming
there
from
is-
a place where,
I think for artists, if they do it because they feel driven to do it and it relieves a certain amount of,
Yeah, we all.
that kind of crap.
Yeah,
What
right.
are you
know,
saying
We're
about
driven by
artists?
the muses.
We do it because we have to.
Yeah.
Well, I know people do. I know people do that. I
Well,
mean,
you know what?
I've seen,
have
The
to.
thing
I've
you
seen
have
people
to
at a party
understand.
sitting with a laptop writing in the corner.
Yeah, I've
Well,
done it.
because they,
I am where I am in my life because of
Yeah.
what I've wanted to do
The
with
thing you
tuning
have to
and tuning
understand
theory,
about artists
instead of
is-
making a good living doing something that
So
I
it has
could do.
negative utility.
Yeah, sure,
The thing about artists people should understand is that there are all different fruits of different trees. There's all different kinds of artists and, different dimensions, and you can't distill it down to
Yeah.
one sort
Yeah,
of
I would agree.
essential psychological motive or, we're all different and we have, valid interests in different areas. And the real point is to try to, make that stuff grow and blossom and bloom.
Well, what about
Something useful or designed for use.
That's
using,
circular.
what about taking your cultural loading, or whatever you call it, magnitude, and use that as the third axis?
Well, there's a problem with that, is because what he wants to do is
No.
he's looking for functionality.
Yeah, functionality.
Yeah, and so you want to have a
That's
form and function,
Well,
as
so-
well as.
so
You
you
did
wanted
put
to
the word
say-
function in there.
So you wanted to think that-
utilitarian function.
So you want to distinguish, say, between
feng
Illustration.
shui-ality.
and fine art.
Well, yes, illustration has a function.
Yeah, so
This is
for
special.
example,
That's a
scientific
good point.
illustration has
Yeah.
a function,
That's a good point.
but a scientist doing art has no function.
Is what?
I mean, for example, I'll give you an example.
It-
Say
a lot of
an
different
artist
intent as
decides
well.
decides to become a sculptor, and it just sculpts, as opposed to a scientist who decides to illustrate his theory. One has a function, one doesn't, in your terms. Except I would say that probably doing the sculpture, he wants to communicate something.
Well, no, he was shaking right on the ground, actually, repairing an engine,
Yeah,
Yeah,
selling a car.
yeah.
okay.
But a sculptor, like Arthur said, there's all sorts of different ways
Yeah.
for artists to approach doing their artwork. But there are a lot of artists, that have no idea what they're doing.
Bell curve.
They don't, they,
Right,
they
right.
start working on something,
And then it
and they just, it started happening,
You're
and they start.
talking American, European,
I'm just
continental
saying,
art.
all I said is there's a lot of artists, I
But
didn't say.
in
Okay.
France, they don't do art that way. And in Germany, what you do is you come from
I don't
concept.
do art that way either,
No,
but,
you come from concept to materials. In the United States, there's a way of coming from materials to concept. You know, there's always those different.
that's not necessarily, I mean, Max Ernst used to, you know, he's European.
Dude,
No.
we talk about this in art all the time because
But
we have friendly
Frottage,
relationship.
you know what frottage is? It's rubbing, it's just, you know, taking
Yeah, sure,
one of
but-
the bark and rubbing on it and seeing something and then start drawing on top of it. That's
But that's going
European.
from no, that's going from materials to concept.
yes, that, and it's European.
But, okay, but the
say
continental
that
art
it's-
and the
that
philosophy,
it's American
no,
or
the
European.
history of art, okay, in Europe has, in the 20th century at least, has been going from concept to materials, as in Bauhaus to, you know, things.
Bauhaus still had a utilitarian function.
Yeah.
By the
No,
way,
but
Mahler
it
has
was-
It
something
was, it was
to
workers' housing.
Who does?
Yeah.
No, but the idea
That's-
was to use scientific
You know I have to bring up
geometry
Mahler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
He
as
had something to do with
artistic
Bauhaus.
inspiration.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The guy who invented it
For
was
ants.
screwing his way.
Correct.
People with souls of ants.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
And in the United States, the idea of Jackson Pollock, okay, is to go, you know, throw the paint all over the place, scrub it all around, and then come
Did
up
she have
with a
kids?
concept, okay?
Two with
That's-
Mahler.
No, he didn't.
I don't think it's
He had
like
a
that.
concept right off the bat.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He started dribbling
Yes,
paint.
That was his concept.
No, but see how he started.
Hey, he just,
she was
that was
the
all there is
original
to it, is
Bauhaus.
dribbling paint.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah, but-
not-
Becoming, I am nature.
sure I'm not the
And
first
he's
one that-
dribbling paint
he's more,
like
he's
the
deeper than that.
wind.
He's deeper than that.
No,
But it
it's,
has- but it
it's,
has
but
a-
it's,
but it
that
has
is
a-
deep.
but it
There's
has
really
a-
not anything deeper
He
than
used to
that.
put his cigarette butts in his canvases,
Yeah.
okay? And now they're all falling out
That's
and everybody's...
disgusting.
Now everybody's worried about it because they don't have those lucky strikes and stuff like that. Camel.
But his stuff actually had a certain fractal structure.
It is
Very-
fractal.
That's very consistent for him.
It's very
And not
fractal.
other artists who try to.
That's
copy
right.
him,
Not,
Which
yeah.
is very interesting.
That's the interesting part about it. And the only reason he could do that is because he was like the wind. He was actually
Yeah.
fractal. He was painting, and that was his concept, was to be like nature. And he did it. He was
John
able to
Cage
do it.
was out making his music, but in fact he always selected works of it.
Well, the
Cage
other thing that
is-
you have
is
to
random.
factor in...
See,
No, what he claimed he was imitating nature in his mode of action.
Here's the thing that we
I
can't
think
miss,
he's
though.
very
In
successful
any
with
of
that.
this stuff, it's never isolated to one particular dimension.
No,
No,
that's the whole point of
That's the whole
this.
point, yeah.
And, okay, and so, you know, the idea is to map it out like this, okay, is a fun intellectual exercise. Okay?
Actually,
And-
I would, one question I've thought about, bothered me the whole discussion. Why are we only choosing the corners? Why don't we just?
There you
Because
go.
it'd be
See?
easier to do.
No,
That's
here's
what I
mine,
thought.
is
That's what I thought.
this is mine, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that we have all of these corners functioning
Well,
simultaneously.
Arthur, you had an
Okay.
assignment and you failed it.
Yeah.
You didn't pay any attention to what you were supposed to be doing.
You know, that's what my philosophy professor so
Yeah.
told me.
Yeah, I bet you got good grades in philosophy.
Yeah, my religion professor referred to me as a heretic in the class. But I mean, so I may agree. I mean, if you're looking at extreme cases, it's easier to plot them. Except it really isn't. But I mean,
No, but
Okay.
it's easier for the audience to see the difference if we know where the group, the nanoplace started from. You don't have to go do it in the corner, but I think it would be easier for the nanoplay people
that's the reason I asked.
to work in the
That's-
corner.
Oh,
That's
that's
the reason.
another thing we have to address. You have two different simultaneous perceptions about this going on, okay? And one is about the audience reaction to the nanoplays and the motive in terms of the creators of the nanoplays themselves
Right.
and that relationship between the two. You might want to spell that out.
My what?
We might want to clarify that in...
That was in the thing that I read you.
But it's not.
How are we actually going to implement it? Yeah, that's
It's
How we
it's
going to implement it? That's in here as well.
No,
So
it's-
they they are to use, the people that write the nanoplays are to do it by aesthetic criteria, for polyaesthetic criteria. Okay, I haven't, what you're saying is I should say, pick a corner.
There you go. Yeah, you have to say that. Be clear.
Well, no, what I'm thinking is, when the play happens, we'll get the audience's vote, but then maybe after that, we should give our vote.
Exactly.
And so this is
That's
what
all
we
part of
intended.
it, yes.
Yeah.
That way they can see the difference between
Right.
what
You
they
have
did
Yeah.
and what we,
Well, not ours,
the
but
play.
not ours, but the artist's vote.
You-
The artist,
the artist.
The performer's
the
vote.
That's what he
performance
means, right?
vote.
Yeah.
You have to really, really clarify that
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It has to be, it has a clear read.
And
You
it's,
know,
and it's a measure, not only, I think, of,
And it has to be a clear read that the scientific input into the nanoplays, okay, is as a scientific input, and that the artistic input is in both the nanoplays and the staging.
Well,
You know,
scientific input is also the scoring.
that's what I'm
and the
saying,
analysis,
right?
the analysis.
Yeah.
And that not every play has to have scientific input into it, but some should, and there be scientific input. into
Half
analysis.
of them should have scientific input.
Yeah.
If you pick the corners of aesthetics of thinking, utilitarian function, and design, it puts you smack dab in the middle of technology.
Right, you choose purpose of this physical prowess.
And direct
And direct
experience.
experience, which I'm not quite sure, you know, that'll.
Puts you right in the middle of pottery or
throat.
something, you know. Well, no, pottery would be aesthetic, utilitarian function.
No, I think,
I thought
Yeah.
Deep Throat was in that.
like walking out, like emptying a bag of trash on the thing, calling it art and walking off, that's pretty damn.
Remember
That's-
Ralph
that's
Dutton's
purposeless.
piece?
Purposeless.
What?
Ralph
It's direct
Dutton's
experience
Yeah.
and requires some
pusher?
physical prowess if they're heavy. There, that's one, and that's,
piece?
Well, that's
It doesn't require any-
Jeff Koons.
that doesn't desire any, yeah, it doesn't require any scientific input.
Jeff Koons? Well, it's a lot of plastic. It's a lot of molding and
Jeff-
CAD programs and everything.
Well,
That's
yeah,
just
but
crazy.
he basically designed something and has a team of people build it for him.
Well, a lot
But
of
it's
people
hard
do.
because
Well,
when you're
for those guys, not for him.
no, when you're injection molding, you can't necessarily come out with, vacuum
Molding, yeah.
molding.
Yeah.
There's a lot of aspects where you can't do. I'm going through this right now with the project. With vacuum molding, I can't do screw shapes.
Why don't you do 3D plumbing,
3D what?
3D printing?
No, no,
Yes,
it's a vacuum
yes.
molding.
No,
Vacuum
well,
molding,
he just gave him the solution to his problem.
Yeah.
3D
3D printing.
3D printing.
which is what?
You have a
With
computer
3D
and
printing.
it actually prints in 3Ds, builds it up.
You can make a screw, you can make
How-
a ship in
How
a
big does it have
bottle.
to be? That's easy.
That's easy.
Piece of cake.
You have to model it in CAD, and then you have it 3D printed, and you can do a ship in a bottle.
You can do it plastic,
In
you can have
vacuum?
plastic or metal.
No, in vacuum forming, you can't. In injection
We're not talking
molding,
We don't
about
have to do
We're not
that.
talking
We don't have to
about
do- we don't have to do
Forget that
This is
idea.
different. Totally,
We're talking
we do
about a
3D
different process.
3D printing.
3D printing.
Printing in 3D, building it up.
in
Layer by layer.
plastic,
In
Yes.
plastic.
And
and
you can,
then getting it transparent.
and then you can make it metal, you can do it transparent.
Transparency,
layers
there's
there.
some
Little hard, they
some
just all
companies
scatter.
do
No,
some
see, okay, I understand what
transparency.
you're saying completely, but it's very expensive.
Yeah, it is a bit expensive.
Extremely, and so to produce sculpture in plastic is takes a lot of interaction between the art and technology. It really does.
Yeah.
You know,
You're telling me I've done 3D printing, you
You
know?
thinking of Gustav Vasa's work or what?
the way.
Think of Gustav Vasa? He did 3D
many
colored
of-
acrylic.
How many of these screw shapes do you need?
It's complicated. I want to explain
If
it.
there's a bunch of them, then it would be too
Yeah,
expensive.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You just one.
Because you could, one little screw could run you $100. That's the
Well,
problem.
we're talking about 50,000 pieces or 100,000
Yeah.
pieces.
3D printing would not be good.
No, no,
Mhm.
no.
Anyway, here's the thing. Okay, I think you got that pretty much done. I don't know if any of our input has been helpful to just fine tune and sculpt that thing. You know what you're doing, and you're going to present that to. We're going to all put this up in. What do you call it? The board
Make it on the
first,
board, yeah.
and then
Well-
transfer it to.
Well, hang on. I created a separate Facebook group for my thing. So do you guys all want to be invited into that?
Sure.
John's already there. He's
Yeah.
the only other member
Oh
besides
yeah,
me.
sure, yeah, do
And
that.
what's the name of the blog?
I think it's Tonescape data mapping. I think
Yeah,
that's what I
think
call
that's
it.
Yeah.
If you want to invite me out of the blue, how do you do that? Just send me an
I'll just
email,
invite Was As Will Be, the Facebook,
Okay.
the Facebook persona.
and then I go to your
Then you
site
just
and then.
accept the invitation.
Okay,
if you wanna be
um,
there. Yeah.
Well,
But I didn't
I
want
have-
to just invite you guys. I knew John was interested, but I didn't know about the rest of you.
Utility, first name and trailers, drive-ins, board supply, clothing, shoes, skateboard. This is utility. This is what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
And I think you guys know that, but
Hmm.
it's,
To me, the three,
what's the
the 4D
difference
is a
between, to
3D
you, what's the
thing.
difference between purpose and utility?
The purpose of purpose is the transposition of purpose.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think there's a difference between them. Really.
I don't.
I mean, utility implies that there is a specific.
What's the difference between purpose and utility?
I don't think there is that much of a difference.
It depends on your,
There could
your
be a
idiomatic
connotation
context.
one way or the other.
But
What's
I
the
should say your
difference?
idiomatic concept. Okay?
Yeah, you know, concept.
Purpose
You gotta make sure
Purpose
the
to
emissary,
me
the ball is there. Yeah.
means
Those words are very close.
Yeah, yeah.
it's directed at achieving something, but utilitarian means that it's actually directed at doing something physical. So there's a difference there.
Then why didn't you use that definition when you made this judgment a while ago? You didn't use that
I
definition.
don't know, you didn't ask me a good pointed question like that back then, but now you did, so.
Yeah. So do you still think that it has
For me, it
utilitarian
is,
function?
yeah,
That
yeah.
four-dimensional thing
Yeah.
still has utilitarian function?
For me, it is.
What does it do? You said it has to do something.
I'll tell you what
What
it says
does
to
it
me.
do? Not says, what does it do?
I think I see where you're getting with this.
See, the
I
thing
think
is
if
though,
you add
that he has to
another
be careful about.
W and another D to shadow, it becomes showdown.
Yeah. Without the A. Yeah.
Well, listen, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna think about my idea a little bit more,
Okay.
and if it's strong enough, I'll throw it up on the board,
Okay.
okay?
Dude, you better
Speed.
you better get going on it because the deadline's in 4 days, 5 days.
That is true.
Friday, basically.
I mean, I've got it
Saturday.
presented here, and it's just that,
So by utilitarian, you mean immediately, directly,
Do
you're gonna
something.
use it right now?
Right.
That's right.
Okay, well then I
Like a
changed my,
screwdriver.
I changed my thing.
But see, what you're teaching me is what I need to say to
Yes,
the
right.
audience
Exactly.
Oh, there's
to
my,
get this.
there's my
this thing-
revised,
Yeah, and I think
judgment.
I think everybody, if you follow that idea, I think we were all together on that.
Yeah,
except
much.
for one
Except
thing.
you, because you're doing some other thing.
well, I'm not all the way down at the end on purposeless, but
Here's my,
I'm in that general, I'm in that realm.
that realm. All right, so we're not gonna connoiter until these things are up in the air, right?
I say we keep getting together every Monday. I think we should.
Yeah, look, regardless.
Because I wanna work on John's
Well,
play,
here's-
whether it gets
here's
accepted
my
or not.
idea.
Maybe we come up
If
to
I,
that point
if I
sometime.
don't present this idea in my pocket, what I'm going
That's
to,
terrific.
what I'm going to do is present this to us,
Yes, yes.
okay?
Show the world. That is Arthur's answer to polyaesthetic
I
mapping.
haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
I need to get a look at this.
No, seriously.
We asked him to do something, and
Yeah,
he
And he
failed.
no, but he did something.
He did something, but it wasn't what we asked him to do.
It
We asked
certainly
him to
was.
map.
I
You
did, I
explain
just
to me
mapped
how
it.
this is mapping.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
Here we
you
go.
start with,
Do you have a reefer to pass around while you're doing this?
now
Because that's the only way we're going to get
dude,
it.
speak.
okay,
Okay.
I will let
I'm
you.
thinking something stronger than
I'll-
reefing.
I'll-
Yeah, a little window pane or
I'll
something.
let you deconstruct this and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, you're going to deconstruct it for us?
No, you
Because
will.
you can deconstruct it after I recycle some water or alcohol.
What? Dehydrate, that's what.
No,
you're doing.
dehydrate, that's what we're doing.
Dehydration.
I really like the genitals on this little guy. Those are really nice. The sun don't shine on his genitals. That's what this one's called.
Okay. That's
And
that coordinate,
this-
right?
Yes, that's this quadrant.
Uh,
Yeah, it's the sun don't shine on my genitals. That's the title for this quadrant.
okay.
And then
Pull up your
this one-
underpants.
This quadrant over here is
Here I am being nudely deconstructed.
I would say that you
this one
certainly
is
add another
titled
dimension.
this
to our
one's titled
discussion.
Allah's Revenge.
That's right.
That's Allah's Revenge.
Yeah,
See, Allah is
Yeah.
revenge with a lightning bolt.
yeah.
That's the
This is the
admonition.
sun
point.
Well,
don't
that
shine
could
on
be the
my,
old-
my genitals.
Okay.
That's what this one's called.
To me, that's just the old Greek versus Turkish conflict. That's all that is.
A soccer match.
So, 1,300 years of conflict between Islam and Christianity.
The
I say
thunderbolt
you
is
always
clearly
say-
Zeus.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
No, this one's from Zeus here. This one's Islamic. You know, you get the
Yeah.
star in the middle.
Yeah.
And the other one's
That's
the,
Allah's revenge, and this is Zeus's retort.
and that's the tree of wife.
This is the tree of wife. This is where. Okay,
More to
Arthur.
suck for? Well, I think
You
you
did
did
well.
it. You did very well.
The
I
Rorschach.
think you passed the test.
Okay.
It still fails to shed any light on what you think about those three dimensions.
I passed
Tell
the
me.
test. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, let's get all this up on the board, and then any tweaks.
Do we want to meet at John Chalmers' place?
Well, let me think of what I gotta do this weekend. If I get a part, I will have this has been what, midnight Saturday or it's on Friday?
What is this you're talking about?
The application.
Applications.
We should get it in a day early, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
Because,
Be smart.
I'm glad that you're so proactive.
because
You know, knock yourself
I might
out.
have a rehearsal Saturday afternoon.
Maybe I should read this really quickly.
Yeah.
Shall I do it really fast? You know, this is just in a nutshell.
Okay.
The idea would be to form or amplify what we're doing, okay, into a realistic sci-art fusion, okay, between science and art. And what it would do is break down an organization into 3 or 4 dimensions, okay, where one...
Four dimensions. We're back to
Four
four dimension again. All right. Where's
One
the pen?
idea.
I want to start drawing on. I'm getting inspired.
Here you go. Maybe you want to use this as a model.
No, I've got this one over here.
No.
Where one aspect of the collaboration between artists and scientists, okay, would be the artification of existing tools. Okay, like taking
Artification.
The artification of existing tools.
Arthur,
Are these utilitarian tools?
yes, and there's things like computers, pens, what do you call it, scientific instruments, scalpels, all sorts of stuff. Okay, the other flip side of that would be the scientific contribution to artistic tools, which would be things like. You know, one thing would be to set up a MIDI system where you'd have sprayers of different colors, and you could go right up a building and spray, you know, program into a building and spray paint a building in, you know, 10 minutes or so in any dimension you want.
Like an inkjet?
Yeah, an inkjet, but like a big
but
9.
industrial scale.
Yeah, industrial scale, and you know, these are just examples I'm using. Okay, that's one dimension of the organization.
Yeah, that'd be fun though.
Yeah, another aspect would be, and this is a serious part, the philosophical extensions of scientific thought into the 21st and 22nd century. You know, it's beyond collective agreement and paradigms of universalism and stuff like that, and also into scientific extensions of artistic thought and collaborations into incorporating a corporeal sense of thinking into you know, artistic thought instead of this individualism you guys were bringing up and stuff like that.
More of a collective sense though.
Yeah, and teamwork in terms of artistic conceptualization. And that means extending the philosophy of art and the philosophy of science outside of this 20th century concepts that we have. Okay. Then another dimension of this thing would be to contribute to extensions in projects that are already good but extensive, like the development of space cities. And NASA is doing a lot of work in space cities, but if there was an artistic contribution to that, and things like independent flying machines. What do you call it?
Independent flying machines,
Yeah, I mean, and there's,
like an airplane.
well, in other words, getting people to. What I'm saying is the real concerns of the future goals in science and art of fusing those teams together to do
What
real
are those
projects. I think they're always the exploration and adventure of going on and beyond of where we are, in many dimensions, and so.
That sounds like Buzz Lightyear to infinity
Okay.
and
then
beyond.
Well, I think
another
what we want to do is design our animals.
another thing would be
No, seriously.
another
We're not there
dimension
yet.
of
We're
that
not there yet,
organization would be
Yeah,
to
that would be fun.
address global projects, which are
War?
Human
That's
extinction.
a global thing.
Human
No.
extinction.
no. Well, yes, absolutely.
I mean, there's a society devoted to it.
No, asteroidal impact stuff. and-
That's one way of doing
We
it.
could work on trying to get an asteroid to come here and destroy the
Exactly.
Earth.
How can we attract it?
Anyway,
Why don't we just release more sulfur hexafluoride in the atmosphere?
okay,
That's
I
one of the
heard
best,
about that,
one of the
yeah.
best
Right.
greenhouse gases ever invented.
anyway, another
It's not toxic.
aspect or facet of this would be to
As long
have
as we'd have a slow death.
this organization have open scientific labs and studio and museum work open to the public, so they could see the dynamic development of stuff going on.
No.
That-
Well, we like the museum up at
Yeah, but a museum, a sci-art
I think
museum,
I'm up
San
at the-
Francisco.
Well, I was thinking the one actually, that's the.
not the one.
No, it's the one I was thinking of is it's heart pits.
Oh, yeah,
You actually
Yeah,
can
yeah.
watch the people cleaning the bones.
right, yeah.
Although you can't do it, you can probably volunteer to do it, but
What's the one in San Francisco I'm thinking
there's
of?
exploratorium.
Exploratorium.
But that's really set up for teaching and interactive stuff.
What I mean, in that, there's all sorts of things.
That's a
like,
cool place, though.
I'm an artist in residence there,
Yeah, you have your pentapone there.
yeah.
Which I didn't get to see the one and only time I've ever been.
Oh, man.
They had it in storage.
Well, anyway, I'm not going to go into it too deep, but there's a lot of stuff.
It's
But,
getting deep.
but,
The only ankle deep.
I think we need some boots. Yeah.
No, but there's some provocative
I knew this
ideas
would
in
get
there.
shot down.
No, there's some
Anyway,
provocative ideas there.
But here's the thing: is that if we were to take seriously,
Not this one.
What's that?
Not the board.
the
Is
advancement
this
of
serious? That's what I want to know.
for you, yeah.
This is
I want to
serious?
see what you drew about Arthur's
Well,
presentation.
this is.
So what's the
what
corpse
is-
delecti?
This is beautiful. I love this. This is great. Monkey man meets Neanderthal. It's good. But the idea of this is that, for once and for all, taking seriously and with fun, okay?
Okay.
The real fusion of science and art in terms of an ongoing way that is,
I guess we need to show
For
that to
real.
the camera.
Yeah.
too.
you know what I mean? And there's,
Can you see it from here?
No, you pull it right out. Go ahead.
Hold it there till you sit on the screen.
I don't think so.
That's Kaz's response to Arthur's idea.
Okay, well,
Right,
I like
Maybe you should let that
it.
go.
Very well. May I keep it?
Yes, that's yours, dude.
sign it though.
I like it. It's good.
Flap, flap.
Picking your bone.
Take my bone.
I'll keep this for sentimental value. Anyway, that's just a thought. It's taking what we're trying to do, or this project, seriously, and putting some dimension and oomph behind it, where it's it's not.
What we're
just-
lacking, the other one is dimension.
I thought we were lacking oomph.
No, we have oomph.
We have
Yeah, well,
Which is the oomph dimension?
The
We got the
oomph
first
dimension.
The oomph
I think I got the
dimension.
first
Yeah,
four.
we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oomph. Yeah.
Or the oomph.
It's great.
Oomph
I
is
think
actually a fractal dimension. It's
Oh,
in
yeah.
between.
Right,
Exactly.
right,
That's
right.
In
the secret
between
behind the
the
string
fourth
theory.
and the fifth
Right, right.
dimension is the oomph dimension.
That's what they haven't put into the string theory
Yeah.
yet. That's what's
But that would bring some serious oomph to our dimensions.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well,
And
let's,
it all evolved around 3 distinct thoughts. Not willows, mayonnaise, and beacons.
in beacons?
And by process of elimination, it was forced to abandon its former structure and immediately disintegrated.
Uh-oh.
Therefore, if you induce vomiting to this species, the blood will drain and leave an exhausted pipe.
That's the oomph digression.
What the hell?
Oh, what is that? That's Pink Floyd?
No.
No, that's Kaz Maslanka.
Kaz Maslanka.
Salute.
And Doug Pinkston and Rex Watts.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Tristan Zara.
Understand that
That was an exquisite paragraph.
Yeah.
like Apollinaire. Well, allons-y.
Are we allons
Is that
ensemble
it?
in la patrie?
That's
Yeah.
good.
Are you in a hurry tonight, Martha?
I am.
You're always in a hurry.
Let's see, we were late tonight.
Yeah.
I had to.
But is it
It's
9?
not.
I did my
Yeah.
best to not be late.
I know you did. You did it. Bang a
Well,
job,
It certainly was fun.
seems like we
Getting
want
home.
to, let's hear from you as far as whether we could go your direction.
Meaning what?
Well, he's going to post it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
I'm
already
gonna,
given us.
I'm gonna rewrite mine. I think I can be a little more definite in it.
but I mean as far as next Monday.
Oh,
Yeah, this is it before the deadline.
yeah, so,
Right.
Deadline. Ooh,
yeah,
what a
so,
word.
yeah, this last meeting we're gonna
The
have.
deadline.
Reaching the oomph
I mean, I
dimension.
suppose we could, get her Friday night and uploaded everything from Jonathan's computer. but-
Well, yeah, and so next
gotta be
Monday
done
is the
by
Day of the Dead.
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, when do they
Yeah.
respond to these proposals? Or there's no time?
I don't know.
Yeah. There must be a hope.
There will be a
somewhere.
dinner.
I was thinking this.
I mean, this is
Well,
collaboration.
I saw that they asked for a follow-up, I think in November or something.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I don't think there will be any decision until after that.
November?
I think that's
No,
what I
no,
saw.
no.
No, I think they could let us know
July.
in April, end of April, because.
Yeah, the end of April, I think.
Yeah.
Well, they've given us a bang amount of time too to do this.
Maybe the follow-up meant if your project's accepted, I guess that's what they're.
Yeah, if the project's accepted, then we'll continue on, and we'll probably be getting more folks, and then we're gonna have to figure out.
Or if we don't get selected, just get together for dinner some night.
Yeah.
We'll do some more of this.
That's wise.
I like doing this.
It's fun.
Not only that, I think we move forward.
Right,
A little
we
bit.
do.
Yeah.
As we're moving
That
sideward.
word oomph
Forward
dimension
and
is
sideways
now
at the
burned in
same
my
time,
brain all
two different
night.
dimensions.
The oomph dimension.
All right, see you guys.
All right, Jonathan, I'll probably see you.
Right,
Couple
I'll be in
days.
and out. I may go to LA on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
You gonna see Herb or just go for other?
No, I always see Irv. That's sort of one.
Actually, you know what? I really would like to see you.
Irv Wilson?
Yeah.
I would
Where's he
really
live?
like